All right, great. So I'll say it again, just so the big rule in my world is 80% effort, not 100. The second I say less is more. And if you need to take a break, you take a little break, you listen, you emphasize the breathing, relaxing, good posture while you sit and take a break. And then you come back. And if you need to modify it, you can, at the end, you can write in the chat box, and Anne will ask me to show it in a different ways. But we can start with very simple. And again, I'm going to put like, let's say a minute. So if you feel after 30 seconds, you want to sit down. So I recommend, first of all, everybody have a chair nearby. So if you feel like just taking a break and learning more theory as you rest and then come back, that's a good thing. And then I rotate counterclockwise. I grab my hand behind my back. And my feet are parallel. So let's say you can't do it standing. So you just do it on your sitting bones and you shift your weight and you make a circle while you're sitting. So there's two options here. And you do the deep breathing in and out through the nose. I try to do 2 or 3 circles inhalation and 2 or 3 circles exhalation. This is a great gentle massage to your hip, to your ankle. So it's really good with arthritis. This is a good way to start dealing with the neuropathy, and also helps with balance. So for example, with the neuropathy, when I do the circle, I massage the soles of the feet using my weight. If you put your mind in the soles of the feet, you feel the nice circles between the sole of the foot and the floor. And then change direction, change the grip behind your hand. So now I'm going clockwise. And I go back to the soles of the feet. I put my mind right between the soles of the feet and the floor. If you keep your mind there, you'll see after a few seconds, you start to feel heat. So this heat is what the Chinese call qi, or energy. And it's simple. When you put your mind in a certain area, it builds the energy in that area. There's a saying, yi is the mind and qi is the energy. So whatever the yi goes, the mind, that's where the qi goes. But it also could be that when you put your mind there and you relax, you also help the blood flow. So the warmth could be from the blood just flowing into the area you're concentrating. At the same time, when I breathe deep, about 85% of my lungs, all this oxygen goes through the blood and nourishes every cell in your body. The breath is also a method to quiet the monkey mind. In Qi Gong, it's called the monkey mind and the horse mind. The horse mind is the wisdom, the monkey mind is the emotion. The horse mind says to the self, okay, don't think, just focus on the circle. But then the monkey comes in and starts to say, what about this? What about that? Blah, 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 blah. That's the monkey, but you have to offer the monkey. If you tell the monkey quiet, then you just generated more thoughts. So what you need to do is offer the monkey a banana, and the banana could be putting your mind in the soles of the feet, focusing on the breath, focusing on the visualization of the lower energy center, and being in the moment, and not let the monkey mind come in, because that's some of the what leads to anxiety, what leads to lack of sleep sometimes at night when you wake up and you start thinking, and many, many other negative health elements. So then the next thing is it's the windmill, I call it. So there's a few ways to do it. So let's say the people that don't want to put weight on one leg. So one way is to go from leg to leg. So that's the hardest. So that's challenging because, again, you put all your weight on one leg and you lift the other leg, the arms just swing. So the modified way will be you don't lift the leg. You just stand in the horse stance and you just turn your waist. This can be even done sitting. So you turn your trunk so you can take a lot of weight off the legs. What we're doing here is this. That's the Chinese drum. So the rope is your arms, the beads is your palms, the turning from the center, my hand is the mind, and the stick is the spine, and the drum is your trunk. I like to collect instruments that remind me of certain movements. So I found out that's totally this one. And then, so the arms are really loose, like the rope, and the palms are like the beads. And then the next thing you do, your liver is on the right side, underneath the floating ribs, and your spleen is underneath the floating ribs on the left. Your kidneys are in the back. So if you poke, wherever it's the most sensitive, that's where your kidneys are. So what I'm doing is when I turn to my left, my center of the palm touch right underneath the floating ribs, the spleen, and the back of the palm touches the kidney. And then when I turn to my right, my left palm touches the liver, and the back palm touches the kidneys. So it's spleen, kidney, liver, kidney, spleen, kidney, liver, kidney. And because Tai Chi is a martial art too, I always tell my students, I want you to be really precise and really get the center of the palm right underneath the floating ribs. So you nourish, you give love to the liver and the spleen and the kidneys. In the back, you use the back part of the palm. In the front, you use the front part of the palm. I inhale in the center and exhale as I touch. Some people like tap. Some people like touch. So you choose. If you go in China or Taiwan, you see a lot of people doing this, tapping the body. So that's a very typical Qi Gong exercise that is very common everywhere. The tapping of different organs, bones, muscles, different areas. We did it for the neuropathy. We tap the feet, which I'll try to do today. So next, I want you to divide the lungs into 3 parts. So talking about fatigue, a lot of time you have to stimulate the lungs and make the lungs increase lung capacity. So the first I'll tap the bottom parts of the lungs, and I try to really fit my fingers right between the ribs. It's nice feeling. And again, it's about precision and being awareness, precision, and knowing your body or getting to know your body over time and practice. And I do again, front and back. So right here, the lungs in between the ribs, try to fit my fingers in. So again, you can see how you can just do that sitting and just decide to work on the front of the lungs, the 3 areas, or the back. So you can break that into small pieces, which is the whole idea of the yin yang symbol. The yin yang is the idea of breaking everything to small pieces, practicing each piece, and then over time putting it together. It's called the school of yin yang. Then go to the middle part of your lungs. Tapping helps impurities come out. I don't know how many of you ever see people with cystic fibrosis. I worked in Brigham and Women with Imad Euler, is the head of the cystic fibrosis. And I work a lot with the breathing there and stuff to help them develop the lungs and leave the hospital sooner than 8 weeks when they have an episode. But in between, I watch the nurses, which is amazing to me. Now go to the top parts of the lungs. So the nurses tap, tap, tap. They cup the lungs and they hit it. I was like, whoa, you guys are like martial artists. Both the nurse and the patients. And the tapping, or cupping they call it, and hitting it really hard breaks the mucus in the lungs and allows them to get rid of some of that mucus that restricts their lungs. All right, so as Anne said, I want to give your legs a little break. So let's sit down on the edge of the chair, or as I mentioned before, if you want, you take a firm pillow that you put behind you, and you sit all the way back, and you use the firm pillow to keep your spine nice and straight. So over time and practice, so this is assistant, I call it. And then if you move to the edge of the chair, it's independent. But if you sit like this with the spine collapse, that's dementia. So there's all those new places for elders that I was just teaching in one. I found out there's $12,000 a month for that place they're paying. But there's always 3 floors or 3 zones. One is independent, one is assistant, and one is for people with dementia. So hopefully you guys will go from assistant over time with a pillow to independent. And I'm trying to scare you not to sit like this because that's the dementia for the spine and the organs. So this is totally bad for the spine, totally bad for the internal organs. Everything is collapsed, compressed. And if there's one thing I always say, try to sit straight as much as possible. And over time and practice, it will just become a habit. And that does a lot of benefits to your health. Just straight spine. You'd be surprised how much straight spine goes for circulation, removing stagnation, removing compression on the internal organs, on the spine, the vertebrates, and on and on. So sit straight like this, either with the pillow or without. The muscles will get strong. And then you close your eyes and you just focus on the breath. And again, as I mentioned in the beginning, the monkey mind will try to come in and say, wait, what are you doing? What about this? I'm thinking, and you just can't answer the monkey back. What you have to do is this. Offer the monkey the banana. In this case, the banana is the breath. And the monkey will try to come in again and again, and you just go back into your breath. So I'm going to put, let's say, 2 minutes, which is very short. And I want you to close your eyes. I want you to breathe in and out through the nose. I want you to relax the shoulders. I want you to feel like there's a string at the top of the head. Your head is suspended from the heaven. The tongue touch the roof of the mouth. There's a little indentation when you put your tongue there. The whole mouth gets full of saliva. That also closes an energetic circuit. And next, just try to stay in your breath for the next 2 minutes. And don't let any thoughts come in. Thoughts will come in, of course, a little bit, but try to do the best you can. Okay, and slowly bring your mind back. So that was, I talked about 30 seconds, then we did it for about 2 minutes and 20 seconds. If the 2 minutes and 20 seconds seemed to you like really long, then you weren't able to hit the brainwave between awake and asleep, which is meditation. But it's okay, it takes time and practice, and some days are different than others. But keep trying. If the 2 or 3 minutes you set up seem like, wow, that was it, then that means you were in those brainwaves between awake and asleep. Let me just show you this chart again. So, so you have here the gamma brainwave. That's when you solve a math problem. Then you have beta brainwaves. That's when you talk to different people about different subjects. Then you have alpha. That's when you start to relax. Today I was talking to someone. We said, oh, maybe when you drink a glass of wine, maybe when you watch TV, maybe when, so it's relaxed, but not meditative yet. And then you have the zeta brainwave. That's meditation here. That's the brainwave between awake and asleep. Awake and asleep. When you lie down, there's that split of a second, you still hear everything, and you disappear. So in the East, they realize when you lie down, you can't hit those brainwaves and stay in them for a long period of time. So, but they said, oh, when you sit, it's very easy to almost fall asleep, but not fall asleep. When you sit and move, it can do it. When you stand, you can almost fall asleep, but not fall asleep. When you stand and move, or when you do Tai Chi, you can almost fall asleep, but not fall asleep. It's the only one place I can explain to you that you really, all of you experience it, especially in our age, is getting up to the bathroom at night. So when you get up to the bathroom at night and you just walk to the bathroom and you do what you do and you go back and you fall asleep and you sometimes don't even remember that you got up, or you remember that you did, but you don't remember exactly. That's the brainwave between awake and asleep. And that's why at night we have a night light versus you don't put the whole light on, because then you wake up from those brainwaves. So the night light is the trick to stay between awake and asleep and not to fall down, of course, because you can still a little bit sense and see what's going around you. But those brainwaves are really important. What I'm showing you is many ways to achieve those brainwaves. One way is like today with the breath. Another way is doing slow motion movement like we did today. Another way, and this can be done now, sitting or standing in the horse stance. If you stand, you also build muscle mass and bone density. So the lady with the leg said that strength needs to be built. So that's another way to build strength. I'm sure the physiotherapy, they do weights or bands, rubber bands, or I hope they do up and down from the chair or something. But squatting down like this and just letting the legs work gently is another method of building muscle mass and bone density. But if you want to take a break, you sit again on the edge of the chair or on the back, but with a nice firm pillow. And another way of achieving the brainwave between awake and asleep is to do the crane flies. The crane flies, for example, I'm going to go shoot in the next week or two. I was supposed to shoot today, but it's raining, for breast cancer at Dana Farber. So one of the ones I'm going to do is crane flies. Why? Because it's a major focus on the lungs. You see, inhale, like a bellow. Exhale. It helps with relaxation. It helps with frozen shoulder, because you increase, this is called dynamic stretching versus static stretching. It's a meditative motion that allows you to reach the brainwave between awake and asleep. So it helps with anxiety, with lack of energy, stress, both mental first, emotional, but also physical stress. Because I always say stress is not just emotional and mental. Stress could be in the joints, stress could be in the lower back and the neck. So this allows you to stretch the whole arm, relax the shoulders, stretch the neck up. Inhale as you go up. Exhale as you go down. So let's say we need to modify to make it easier. So I just go to here. I just fly with the wings. Don't go as high as here. So that, or you start like this, you do a little bit, then you go to smaller motion and slow. When my arms come up, I put all 5 fingers together. I drop my wrist so the fingers point to the floor. In the middle, the wrist is straight. I spread my fingers. And when I go down, I tense my forearm and I point the fingers to the sides. I mentioned before, but I'll say it again. Qi Gong and Tai Chi is almost, you can say, acupuncture or shiatsu in motion. So when the arm position is like this, the energy meridians are compressed, certain muscles, it's like the needle of the shiatsu. And then when I release it, other muscles are compressed, like shiatsu or the needles. And that, what it does, it's called the dam effect. You compress area and you slow the circulation of both blood and energy, and then you release it, and it rushes everywhere, and it cleanse and nourish the entire body or the areas you're working on. Inhale and exhale. In and out through the nose. This also builds a lot of core strength. So first of all, your arms over time is like weights, and you just keep moving them up and down, so you get strong in the pec, the bicep, the tricep, the trapezius. At the same time, you keep your spine nice and straight, so you get strong in the lower back to support this posture. But of course, in Qigong, what else do we do to strengthen the core? Every inhalation, we draw the abdominal and the back muscles in, and on the exhalation, out. So the whole core is working. And if you got tired, so let's make it smaller like this. So you can go as small as down here. And this is also, Tai Chi is both health and martial art. So this is a martial art move. When someone hugs you from behind in a grip, so you turn and open your hands this way, and you release yourself from the grip, from the screw, and at the same time you hit sideways. So that's, you can see a lot of the moves are also for martial art. Okay, and then we go to another one, very nice, bear swimming. So this time, what do? I bring my hands to the waist. I bring them straight out like two fists. Palm face up. Then I turn the palm forward and I tense the forearms. I put the finger up to the ceiling. This is like breaststroke. Then you go out. When I get to here to the T, I straight the wrists. I go as far back as I can. And then I bring my hands to the waist, straight out, around, and back, and to the waist. From the back here, the tip of the finger is like a snake. You sneak it into the waist. You want to inhale? You want to inhale as you open? Inhale. And then once you get to the T, exhale. Inhale. exhale. Remember, you don't see it on the outside, but when I inhale, I draw the abdominal muscles in, and when I exhale, I let them out. As I mentioned before, everything we do supposed to have the 5 building blocks in it. So body, so I mentioned a lot of stuff about the body. The straight spine, the abdominal muscles, just relaxed shoulder, lengthen the neck, the way you do the arm, the wrist, the fingers, the shoulders, and on and on. Next is the breath. So I mentioned how here you have the inhale, and then you have the exhale. Next is the mind. So that's the third one. So the mind is for now is in the motion. It could be in the breath. So then I have body, breath, and mind. Then I want to add the energy. So now I'm going to visualize the lower energy center, a healing energy ball in the center of the body, 2 inches below the navel in the center of the body. So now I have body, breath, mind, and energy. So that's 4 out of the 5. And last but not least is the spirit. So how do I invoke my spirit in this motion? There's a few ways. One way is I really feel when I do this part here, like I'm the bear. So you take the spirit of the bear. Another way is you visualize the lower energy center, and then you put your mind deep into the earth and up into the heaven. It's called unification of 3 forces: human, heaven, and earth. So my teacher used to say, Rami, is your mind in 3 places or in your mind in 1 place? And I was smart enough not to answer it. Because if you say, I remember others say, if you say 3 places, he'll say, no, it's 1 places. And if you say 1 place, say, no, it's 3 places. But the answer is both, you know? Sometimes you can practice this if it's, you say, okay, I want to pull myself back. Because today we talked about pulling yourself back 80%, less is more. So then what do? You stand like this, and you like bend your knees slightly, tuck the tailbone in, and you're like a tree. And then you put your mind in the lower energy center. I make my left hand flat. My right hand is like a loose fist. I put the loose fist line up with the lower energy center. And then I send my mind from the lower energy center down through my legs, deep, deep, about a foot, 2 feet into the earth. And I'm like a tree and I'm growing roots into the earth. Inhale, you focus on the roots. Exhale, focus on moving the roots lower. You can move centimeter by centimeter, inch by inch, 2 inch, 5 inch, whatever you want. Let's do this for 5 breaths. You inhale. On the exhalation, your mind grows deeper down. Then inhale, stay where it is down there. Exhale, again, go deeper. So you keep growing deeper, 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 deeper into the earth. And straight your leg, come out of it. Again, I'm doing everything minute two, so your legs don't get tired, or we modify it to make it a little shorter and see how that works. And hopefully that's better for this group. But over time and practice, you build up to 3, 4, 5 minutes. And then when you squat down like this and you do this meditation, it's that's how you grow into it. Stronger legs, a longer time, the ability to focus on the visualization, deeper breathing, and on and on. But again, it can be done sitting. So then you grow the roots from the chair down, the feet and the chair. So the whole trunk here. So that way you connect to the earth, and eventually you can also do the heaven meditation, and eventually you put the three forces together. So again, this is the school of yin yang. You dissect everything to small pieces, practice it, and then you eventually put it together. Another really nice one to help with stress, anxiety, tension, helping the neck, shoulder, increasing oxygen, is baby crane flies. So baby crane flies, I put my elbows together. The fingers line up with about your nose height, above the nose, maybe even between the eyebrows. And then I move my elbows up. The fingers touch each other here, the tip of the fingers. And then I bring the back of the palms to touch each other. And you see my elbows, they pointing up almost to the ceiling. But it's not to say that you can just go and point the elbows to the sides or wherever it's comfortable. Or one can go higher and one can go lower if you have a certain problem, arthritis or different elements. But if you can, you bring the elbows all the way. You see, they point to the ceiling. And a little, okay, shoulders, yeah. So yeah, exactly. So if you have shoulders and you do this, you put more strain on the shoulder. So you just want to go less, even less than where you can go. Back off and help this area relax. And then we need to do other things to loosen up the shoulders. Maybe we can focus on shoulders next month. Exhale as you go elbows together, and inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And again, you can do it sitting, or if you like, you go into the horse stance. Then you can do one at a time. So I'm going to go. So that's another possibility. Let's do a few little things with the shoulders. So the first thing, try to roll your shoulders back. Again, sorry, you can have 3 different size circles here. You can have very, very small circles. You can have medium circles, and you can have large circles. The first rule is this: if you hear any cracking sound or a repeated sound like a crack, make the circle smaller. That's 2 bones touching one another, and that means your soft tissue is short. And when you make the circle, the bones just touch each other. So make the circle smaller until you don't hear any sound. So that's the first thing. We'll go by numbers instead of time. To do 15 circles back. Half a circle inhalation, half a circle exhalation. Okay, then 15 circles forward. Okay, then you put your hands on your waist. So the shoulders in Chinese medicine, it's from here up. It's everything is one piece from the sternum up. So you have to do stuff with the forearms. You have to do stuff with the neck to help the shoulders. So it's all one piece. So this is called look to the left and look to the right. When I'm in the center, I close my eyes. When I turn my head to the left, I open my eyes and look far, far away. That raise the spirit. Close your eyes, open your eyes. Again, 80% effort. Don't turn the way all the way. Don't turn the head all the way. Turn it just 80%. Inhale as you turn, exhale as you come to the center. Then next, you're gonna bring your chin in to your collarbone, or at least to where it's comfortable. Don't force it, and up, down and up. 10 times. Very good. I have 5 or 8 minutes if people want to ask me any questions. If you don't want to ask it loud, you can write it in the chat box and Anne will ask it for you.
Thank you so much, Rami. So I feel great. Thank you. I really needed that. If anybody has any questions about anything we did and you don't mind being on camera, we're still recording. You can raise your hand and unmute, or if you want to type into the chat, I can be your face. Um, but feel free to type into the chat anything you'd like Rami to know, such as how you're feeling, or parts of the body that feel different, or anything at all. Um, I know that baby crane really got me there, Rami, because I just moved and I did a
Oh,
lot of heavy lifting, and this is all right here. So Rami was laughing at me. I'm like, I can't get that up
you
that
know
far.
why? Because today I see you on the big screen. I I forgot to switch it. I guess to gallery I have to do it. But I see you on the big screen. I see everybody on the side. So that's
Well,
why.
that's not right. We want to see them, not me. But Bev says she feels really good in the chat. And that's really good to hear, Bev. I'm glad. Why don't I go ahead and anybody else want to type into anything else? Amelia writes, loved the baby crane, felt really good. And Anne wrote, I love the repetition of this and she needed this today. So we're going to stop the recording now. And thank you so much, Rami. We'll see you in September. And
Thank you, everybody. Keep practicing straight posture, deep breathing. Visualize the lower energy center and move the abdomen and the back muscle, because that repeats in everything we do. I call that the essence. Tongue touch the roof of the mouth, deep breathing in and out through the nose, moving the abdomen and the back muscle either in or out. and if it's confusing, remind me and we'll do it again next time, the Taoist and the Buddhist breath and visualizing the lower energy center. So that repeats in everything you see in Qi Gong and Tai Chi.